everybody. All right, in this video, we're going to look at AP 4B from Chapter 7 here from the Workbook Exercises. And I'm going to move relatively quick through this one since we've already done a couple of bank reconciliation problems that are very similar to this one so far. But yeah, let's get into it. So let's put in our, put in our report titles, etc. It looks funny how it's all up against the side like that instead of being nicely aligned, but you can't really format inside of this version of how they do the inputs here. So oh well. All right, so remember we got our cash balance per bank statement, and then we've got our cash balance per books, and it tells us our cash balance per bank statement is $16.40, and our cash balance per books was $19.21. And let's see here. Sorry, give me one moment. Sorry. Okay, so cash balance per book. Let's see, adjusted balance per banks. Sometimes you just see it as, it's just a bank statement, but banks, and then adjusted balance per books, and then kind of like I've done before, I'm just going to do an add, and then deduct section for both sides. Okay, so we've got our beginning totals, we've got our sections, our whole reconciliations kind of set up here, and let's go through and see what we need to do. So we've got an NSF check, so we're going to deduct that, and I'm going to subtotal my stuff this time, so just make it a little more nice looking. Okay, so that no fee, it doesn't tell us we got an NSF fee at all, but just returned our check. Direct deposit, that was an EFT, so it went directly to the bank. So an EFT deposit of $3,900. What else? Bank service charge, and that was $41. Bank deposited $14, so we got some interest revenue, and that was $14. And we had some deposits in transit that have not yet hit the bank, and that totaled to $38.90. Okay, so $16.40 plus $38.90 gives us $55.30, and then let's do our subtotals here. We get $39.14. That one's pretty easy math. And then $264 plus $41 is $305. And if we add the $19.21 plus $39.14 minus $305, we get $55.30 as well. So that balances us out. And then we can just do our journal entries down here. Okay, so let's, remember we're just going to book all our entries on to the on the book side. So everything that is a cash increase or in the add section is going to get a cash debit. And then we've got accounts receivable going down. And we indent that. Oh, that looks weird how it's so blurry looking. That's odd. PR collection, we'll just say. Okay, and then March 31st. So what do we got next? Interest revenue, so cash and interest revenue. That was $14 of cash that the bank deposited. And we'll say interest earned. Okay, and then we had an accounts receivable increase, as opposed to the decrease above, but an increase for the NSF check. We thought the customer paid us, but in reality, it was a bad check. So we'll say NSF check, and then finally, we've got a bank charges expense, reduction in cash, and this is $41 for our service fee. And we'll say bank service fee. Okay, and that's everything on this side, all four. So we had 4 different reconciling items, each individually recorded. I mentioned this before. I like to just book 2 entries, one for the additions, one for the deductions, and just group them together. But the book does it this way, so I'm kind of just following their format for the journal entries. So, all right, well, hopefully you're getting good at these bank reconciliations. And then we've got one more problem in this workbook exercise group, and it's a bank reconciliation problem, but it's a little more. Instead of just telling you like they do in these about reconciling items, we need to analyze the bank statement and the ledger to figure out what those reconciling items are. So I will see you in that video. All right, thanks everybody.